Welcome back. This is of course Musings. Here we meet about issues of life and then make constructive adjustments moving forward based on the conclusions we come to in a particular order. Today I want us to talk about something concerning relationships, and then it's mostly into marriage. I want us to talk about having boundaries, clear-cut boundaries in relationships, clear-cut boundaries, and then just being thoughtful of the other person's feelings and emotions in relationships. We'll be right back. Welcome back. So, a relationship, right, is when two people decide to commit each other in love, and they are so mindful of the other person's. They're enthralled by the other person. They feel safe in the other person. They feel secure in the other person, and they willfully open up that part of their lives where it's so vulnerable only to them, because they believe that per the person's actions, per the person's love signs and all that, they are able to keep their sanity intact for them. And so of all the people in this world, they choose this particular person and they give their lives to. And in marriage, it extends even further in marriage, because you decide to even live together and create a new family. Yeah, in relationships. And I think that it's very commendable. Marriages and then relationships and subsequently marriage is the most intimate thing that can ever happen to human being. I think God has blessed humanity with marriage to create intimacy. I am telling you that if you're living with somebody who's not your married spouse, it's not your spouse, the level of intimacy is not the same. Where there's inhibition when you're not married, in my culture, there's a bit of inhibition when you're not married, as to it looks like you're stealing. But when you eventually marry, you bear everything away, and you're so whole, like everything is okay for you now. And in that space, in that environment, you are free. You become yourself. Things that you couldn't do with other people, you now easily do with this other person. And so your emotional sanity, you have decided to give to one person, for the person to keep for the rest of your life. And some people do good at keeping it, others not so good. And that is why I wanted to discuss or talk about setting boundaries now. Let me tell you a very short story, and then from there we'll continue with the discussion. I used to work in an office and the office comprised very young, impressionable people, and some of them were marrying, and then some of them were looking and searching and all that. Very young people. And there was this one guy, very handsome guy. He was into tech, these computer people, computer and all that thing. They have this thing about them, these computer people. And so he was quite handsome, and he got married. It was such a sight to behold. And he changed. When he got married, he changed. He looked very well taken care of, well groomed and all that. And so he was now looking more attractive. And then there was this other young woman in the office there who was not married, who was literally searching. She was quite beautiful and impressionable too. But then we realized that as time went on, we realized that this young lady was kind of etching or kind of getting close to this married man. Too close for comfort. In fact, we saw it. But this man, the married one, was kind of like okay with it. He didn't care. He literally didn't care. The lady could come and sit on his laps in the office. She could just hug him anyhow. They'd go out to lunch together, sometimes holding hands. Then sometimes the lady's hand would be on his, they would just lock hands. The lady's hand would be on his neck. and it looked like a joke, but I think it wasn't even funny. To the point that most of the friends we told this guy, no, you're going, Charlie, no, don't do that. And he literally didn't see anything wrong with that. To the point that the lady could leave her office, come to his office, they would sit down, they would chat, they would laugh, and it was all over the place. Then one day, we were in the office when this very gorgeous lady came there and gave a rousing showdown. She went directly to the front desk, that's what they call the front desk, and asked for that lady. So this lady came and she was all over the place. It was like a wounded lion. The noise was too much. She accosted her, confronted her. Why was she calling her husband in the dead of night? Didn't she know he was married and all that and all that? Lord, it was loud, man. It was loud. So after this lady gave the showdown, she went to her husband's office. She accosted him too. God, it was not easy. And then she left and went home. Now everybody was. It was a mess. Everybody was now blaming the young lady for causing all that, because she was a younger lady. She was not married. She should have known that the man was married and all that. And none of them, they were like all on the young lady. So when the whole scenario, when the dust settled on the issue, I went straight to the man's office and I told the man, between you and this young lady, who needs boundaries? Between you and this young lady, you should have set boundaries. You have been taken off the market. She is searching. She's young, she's impressionable, she can do whatever she wants to do with her life. You are married. You have vowed to keep someone's sanity. You have vowed to protect someone's mental sanity, and forsaking all others, keep her mental sanity. Now, I never knew his wife. Most of us had never met his wife, but because he lost his guard, because he couldn't keep his boundary, this man came and created a mess of herself because her mental equilibrium was disturbed. Simply because the husband couldn't keep his boundaries. What am I trying to say? I'm saying that marriage, relationships, and subsequently marriage is the most intimate thing on earth. Don't take your spouse for granted. Don't think they are stupid. They are not stupid. It's not. That somebody is married to doesn't make them idiots. No, it doesn't at all. They just trusted your words, they trusted your maturity, and they decided to invest or commit their emotional sanity into your hand. You owe it to them to protect it. Set boundaries. We don't need to remind you that women are territorial by nature. As for men, they are jealous. Their jealousy knows no bounds. You understand? Because of these things, because people have given their vulnerable self to you, you have to set boundaries. Know that if you outstep your boundary, you are going to put someone's mental equilibrium into a destabilization. You're going to imbalance it. It's unnecessary. The man could have stopped all this happening. I never knew his wife, I've told you already, but she came to make a mess of herself. Such a gorgeous, elegant woman. She came to make a mess of herself, which under normal circumstances I'm sure she would never have done. But because her mental equilibrium was being attacked, she had to come and put things in order. Howbeit, she did it because her husband did not keep his boundary. When you're married, when you're in a relationship, Masa, it's not by force to be in a relationship. Obiang push you to go and be in a relationship. You decided, even if we're coerced, you should be responsible to your emotions. You should be responsible for your actions. Know that obeying mental health, someone's sanity is resting in your bosom. Keep it. By all means, keep it. Set boundaries. Set boundaries. This man could have immediately stopped the lady. When he saw what was happening, the lady was emotionally releasing herself onto him. He should have seen it and stopped it immediately. Now, what happens is this. When you marry or when you're in a relationship, what you do is that you decide, it's a conscious attempt, it's a very It's a conscious, it's an active attempt, it's an active decision, it's a conscious decision to commit to somebody other than yourself. To commit to somebody. When you're in a relationship, when you're married, you are not immune to external attractions. No, you're not. When you marry, I hope that sometimes you realize you now see people more accomplished, people more beautiful, people more handsome, and all that. They do not, that you're married, do not make them disappear. In fact, it actually now amplifies them more. Because when you're married, after some time, your partner's inadequacies, your partner's weaknesses and flaws become real. You see them now. When you're in a relationship, when you're courting and you're dating, you kind of accommodate a lot of things because you don't want that sweet feeling to disappear. You want to get that sweet feeling. Now, when you're married, there's this one called Funke. Phyllis Adejumo. She says, people say that, go and find her out. She's such an excellent preacher. She says that people say love is blind. When you marry, it opens your eyes. If love is blind, marriage is an eye opener. When you marry, your partner's flaws become amplified, and you see them for what they are worth. You see them flawed and so human, and because of that, sometimes your commitment level begins to dwindle. Your love begins to shake. It does not necessarily destroy the love, it just challenges it. If you don't keep boundaries, if you don't decide to keep your boundaries, if you don't decide to safeguard your commitment, because it pays to be committed to somebody. When the person knows that you are committed to me and I can trust you with my all, it pays. It goes a long way to help you. You understand? If this man had respected his wife's vulnerabilities, if he had realized she could get jealous, and she would get jealous if he had realized that it can destabilize my wife, or the mental wife function, it could destabilize my partner's mental equilibrium, and because of which I am going to respect my commitment to her and stop this thing with this lady immediately. We wouldn't have met his wife, we wouldn't have seen the other side of his wife, we would not have known his wife at all. But because he lost his guard, everybody got to know his wife, and it was a nasty scene which was very unnecessary. Please, if you're in a relationship, keep your boundaries. Keep your boundaries. Know that your emotions are exclusive to your spouse. Your vulnerable self, your intimate self is exclusive to your spouse, because it borders on trust. If I give you my raw nerve, and you throw it to the dogs, nothing you do in this world will make me give back to you. If I pick it up from the ground and clean it, nothing in this world. So I'm just thinking, whoa, this man has lost, because the quality of his relationship is going to change. If before his wife trusted him, because he didn't keep his boundaries, it will decrease. If before she held him in such high esteem, like, really, you're stupid like that, it will decrease. If before she respected him, it will decrease, because who said he can't keep her mental sanity? Something she trusted him to do, he can't do it, which is terrible. One time I went to a salon, right, and I was wearing this. I was wearing this very tight dress, very tight fitting dress. I've bundled it and locked it somewhere, and then so when I left the salon, I stepped out of the salon, and then my hand was in my handbag. I was looking down. I was thinking, I think I'd ordered for an Uber or something, so I wanted to just go and meet him. So my hand was in my bag, and I was looking down and walking on the streets. I could perceive people looking at me. So as I was going, my ring finger was in my bag. So I saw this car approach me, and then I think I was passing by, it curved to the curb where I was walking, headed towards, and then he got out of the car, very handsome young man. Very handsome young man. I don't know if the car belonged to him or his boss. He just stepped out, and per the wandering of his eyes on my body, I knew where he was going. He got out and started coming towards me. Then, so I had to immediately draw the line. I'm a married woman. So I lifted my hand from my bag, and he saw, I positioned my hand so that you see the ring. And he went back and said, "Oh my good Lord, lady, why weren't temdodo? Why weren't temdodo?" And then I burst into laughter. Everybody around was laughing. He was laughing. He went back to his car and he left. And I also went forward. Carried my matter away. You know why? I could have played along. You guys, I could have played along, but immediately I realized someone's emotional sanity is in my bosom. I had to protect it at all costs. Forget about respect and disrespect of my own personality. I had to think about my husband. Immediately. There are some things, don't let them fester. My brother, in your relationship, don't let them fester. It's unnecessary. You have the power to say no. You have the power to stop them in their tracks. Keep your boundaries. You're in an office, somebody is coming up to you. You're a married person, you're in a relationship. You know that this will affect the other person. And we also all know that being in a relationship does not immune you to certain attraction. It's common sense. Everybody knows that. It was temptation. We all know the temptations are there. But somebody is trusting you to keep their mental sanity. Best keep it. Especially for the married, because look, when you say somebody has committed to you, it's a blessing to get somebody committed to you. When everybody else leaves you, they are there. Your children will grow up, they will leave you. Your friends will leave you. Your colleagues will leave you, but your spouse is there. Why don't you just keep that trust between you? Why don't you just keep their sanity? Keep it. Create boundaries. Protect, that's your unit. Keep it tight-knit. It will help you in the end. Keep their mental sanity. Some people have married and they are worse off than when they were not married because their spouses are stupidly breaking their boundaries, letting so many things into their units, destroying their sanity and their equilibriums unnecessarily. And then they go and blame the devil. Then they will go to heaven. The devil will slap people. The devil will slap people. Look, my friend, before you act, think of your spouse. I'm sure before any action is taken, there are two decisions. Your conscience pricks you and they are way. Listen to the voice of reason. Listen to reason. Listen to sense. Set boundaries. Protect your spouse. Protect your family. If you have children, protect them. Set boundaries before it escalates into something you cannot handle. Set boundaries. People don't forget to. Your wife or your husband will forgive you if you lay your guards down and mess up. He will forgive you or not. Or no better now. But you should know that the quality has changed. It will change. It will change. Set boundaries, keep to it. Be thoughtful of your spouse's emotions. It will not kill you to say no to that one person. It will not kill you. There's something called the thrill of the illicit. Because you are stealing something, it's exciting. When it is found out, your relationship is gone. The quality, something will be gone. Something will be taken away. Because the person will now realize that one person talk out, you don't have good intentions for me. You don't think about me. Which is not, it's unnecessary. It's unnecessary. I'm not saying whoever you are living with is also a human being. And one man's poison is another man's meat. You think they're not better because of a little problem that happened, because of a little misunderstanding that happened, because of a little issue that happened, which has upset you so much. You throw away your jewel, and then you lose your guard, and somebody else comes. After a while, you realize the value is the same. Then you have lost your gems. You've thrown them all to the dogs. Please keep your boundaries, respect, and be thoughtful. Honor your spouses. Honor them. It's not easy to give your emotions. There are some temperaments, before they open up to you, they have to be double sure, because they are emotionally fragile. There are some people, if you punch them 2 times, they'll come back 3 times. The others, if you point them once, they'll go back 10 times and don't come back again. That's temperaments. And then star signs and all that. There are people emotionally, and the way they take shocks is some are extreme, others, so just try. They may not forget. They may be broken for life, and your relationship will be messed up. You destroy everything just because you didn't get boundaries. Think about your spouse's emotional sanity. After all, you took vows saying, I forsake all others to love you and to hold you in sickness. What happens to those things? When trouble comes, then throw them down out the window. Don't do that. Oh, look, people, why do you think people sing that songs? It's not easy to get somebody liking you. You're not special. You're not God. To get somebody throw down themselves for you and let themselves go for you. It's not easy. So when you have a spouse, when you have a husband, when you have a wife, and you know by all indications that this one loves me, they like me, they will sacrifice everything for me. Please keep your boundaries. Keep boundaries. Set boundaries. Protect your emotional self. Don't be emotionally available to other people. Masa, be only emotionally available to your spouse. It will help you in the end. I'm not saying it's a warrior. Your emotions have died. They've not died out. But let it be only available to your spouse. I was on Facebook one time, and then this guy, I just sent him a friend request. I don't know. When he accepted it, he came to my messenger inbox. Hello, hi, pretty. How are you? Where do you stay? Can I have your number? I looked at his profile picture. He has a ring when he was with his wife. This is a loose man with no boundaries. I pity his wife. He's a wife to my husband. Until that. It happens also with women. So I just told him, I think I blocked him. I blocked him. Yeah, I think I blocked him. If he wants to throw my own sanity out, I will not go with him into the dust, into the gutter. I won't do that. Alright, I'll keep my integrity. Keep your own integrity. And keep your spouse's sanity intact. Immediately I text him. One time too, I was walking, I met this guy. Young man with his ring on. Nice young man, gave me a lift. I took it. Then, in fact, I actually entered the car because he was married. And I was quite young, so probably my age mate. So either my age mate or just a couple more years older. So I entered the car, and then we started conversation, and then he asked me, can we go out tonight? I was like, man, but you are married. I'm married. He said, oh. So I asked him, where's your wife? And he said that his wife is doing reading master's pharmacology in Australia, and he's here in Ghana and he just wants to catch some fun. I was like, so you know that your wife is also probably catching fun in Australia? I said, oh, what for her, she won't do that. And I asked him, why won't she do that? So my wife won't do that. And I was like, she probably also thinks you won't do that, but you are doing it. So what makes you think she won't do that? And then he was quiet. You see, boundaries. I know that you're a married man, your wife is not around you, the temptations will come. But brother, sister, you vow to keep your spouse's sanity. Some people have been so battered and bruised by their spouses that they don't care anymore. They have self-preserved themselves. They have comforted themselves until they're just living with you because maybe of the children. Is that normal? Is that right? Somebody will tell you ideally it's not right, but reality will prove it otherwise. I am saying that reality or not, try to keep boundaries. It shouldn't have been even part of the conversation when this man called me. It shouldn't have been part of the conversation at all. Because you're a married man. You're not any ordinary person. You're not a man. If you were a man, I would understand you, but you're a married man. That is a deciding factor. You're in a relationship. That is a deciding factor. And it is worse for you if you're married. It's a deciding factor. Decide. Actively, consciously keep your boundaries for your spouse. And know also that everybody has a story. Okay? Everybody has a story. If you're in a workplace, stories draw people into emotional places. So if you're in a workplace, wherever you find yourself, be very careful how you expose your emotional self, your emotional availability to people around you. If you're married, if you have a spouse, or if you're in a relationship, but most especially if you're married, be very careful how you become emotionally available to people around you. People have stories, and when you listen to these stories, they draw you in. And so be careful if there's any suggestive behavior around an opposite sex towards you, if there's any suggestive behavior, emotionally drawing up. Be extremely careful. Draw the line. I've already said now. I'll keep saying when you marry, it doesn't mean it's emotional attachment. It does not. It's even more amplified. So make sure so you know when to draw the line and protect your spouse's emotional sanity. It behoves you. You have to make sure you do that. We know that it's easy not to do that. I mean, anybody can take the easy way out. Life is difficult. But because any emotional way na assume, keep it. Cut down suggestive behaviors. When like this example I gave before, the guy saw this lady coming on towards him. He saw it. I think he was just enjoying the flirtation, enjoying the attention, which is very stupid, very uncalled for a married person. It can make so many things happen and it won't help you in the end. So regard your spouse. Draw the line. Let people know this is how far they can come with you. Because you're married, that is it. The difference is that you are married. The difference is that you are taken. The difference is that somebody trusts you with their whole sanity. And the difference is that you're supposed to keep it. And so you try to keep it however way possible you do it. It's your responsibility. Otherwise, would everybody just wake up and do whatever they want to do? That's not right. Alright, so think about it. Think about these things. These are musings. Think about them. And then make constructive adjustments moving forward in the area of your relationships, the quality of your relationships. Why? Thanks for watching. This has been my musings again. Subscribe and like and hit the bell notification button so that if I upload any new videos you get them. Thanks so much for sticking and staying. Catch up with you next time. There's a movie that's so horrifying. Bye.